Hi, Kylie. This is Asma Gulbaz. Big fan of your work. So, one question that I had for you was I value your advice of building robust cultures by design. So, just interested from your experience, what are the most common design flaws that you see in organizations that unintentionally erode the psychological safety of the folks, of the employees?
Thanks, Asma. That's such a fantastic question. So, a few things that I see in this area is firstly, we don't get executive buy in about the importance of psychological safety. It actually has a really strong business case behind it, apart from just being like ethically the right thing to do. So, that's one of the first things I see. The second thing is perhaps we don't tend to the connective tissue of work as much as we should, as much as it is required. We get stuck in transactional relationships, the KPIs, efficiency and productivity, the what of what we're doing, rather than the how. And what happens when things don't go to plan? How are we going to place those things together? The other thing that I see is the lack of consistent connection rituals and communication rhythms. How do we gather? How often do we make sure that we hear from each other? Do we have weekly one-on-ones? Do we have weekly team meetings or monthly team meetings? Do we have quarterly discussions? Are we able to come together in ways that both address the work that we're doing, but also we get to know each other and we've got an opportunity to be heard and to put our ideas forward and to hear from others as well. Another thing I see is that we don't upskill for handling uncomfortable emotions and conversations. It's a real skill. It's a learned skill in being able to hold a conversation that feels uncomfortable, that might have some difficult messages or difficult emotions in there. It's a skill that we need to be able to do, and it's a learnable skill. And we need to be able to invest in that in order to really, foster the psychological safety of being able to have robust conversations. So we don't tend to fears and feelings. Often there's still in the workplace that there's no place for the full humanity of who we are at work. The thing is that fears and feelings don't go away. They just come out sideways as unproductive behaviors and can really erode psychological safety. So we want to be making sure that we're attuned to what's actually happening in the workplace and have those conversations earlier rather than later. One of the things that I see is that we place the burden on speaking up quite a lot rather than actively seeking out feedback. For leaders, how do I actually make it easy to speak up to is one thing, but then also, can I make sure that I'm actively going out and seeking feedback, not just waiting for people to bring feedback? We want to remove some of that burden on people speaking up so much as we can gather that information where I hold a position of influence or power in the organisation. The burden should really be on me to make sure that I'm hearing what's actually happening in the organisation rather than waiting for it to come for me. And there's a bit about that also around the lack of investment in leadership development from a self-awareness, from an emotional intelligence point of view. I'm still seeing a lot of people who are technically competent put into leadership roles who don't yet know how to bring out the best in their people, and they need support to be able to do that. And there's the age old issue of the trap that we can fall into as humans of being in positions of power that erodes empathy. There's lots of research that shows the more power we have, it can without deliberate focus and attention erode the amount of empathy that we have in our organisation. So I love the work of Jim Collins, who reminds us that level 5 leaders are a powerful mixture of indomitable will for the cause of the organisation and the purpose, with a powerful mixture of personal humility. They're the common design flaws. And so the things that I would say to really foster psychological safety is to get buy-in about its importance, to tend to the connective tissue, to tend to connection rituals and communication rituals, to upskill for handling hard conversations, and to keep in mind how you're using power.